What if I was to tell you that there's a way that you can get clients to pay you up to 4 times more than what they currently pay you, just by following this one simple framework? This is one of the most overlooked topics in business, and it's something that I quite clearly feel very passionate about. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the fundamentals of pricing, which can be applied to almost every business. But in this example, we're going to be using my agency, which is an AI automation agency. For the record, pretty much everything I'm going to talk about is translatable into almost any service-based business. So maybe you run a social media marketing agency, same rule applies. So at Unorthodox, we provide our clients with custom-built AI solutions. Now, whether that's AI automations or chatbots, we do a full array of different services. And a formula that we follow closely when it comes to pricing is clients' pain times the value that you bring equals your price. Now, we follow this throughout all of our different projects that we work on, and it has served us very, very well over time. Now, on the lowest range, a client will pay us anywhere from $4,500 to work with them on an AI solution. Now, we've actually had clients that have paid us $10,000, $20,000 every single month. Now, today I could sit here and talk about what we charge and how we come to that figure every single time, but I have something so much more valuable for you. I need you to understand the basics of pricing before you can master the art of getting paid. If you can sit through this very short video, I can promise you now, you will have the secret keys which will unlock the ability to make more money from less clients, and that is the ultimate goal. So when it comes to pricing, there are 2 different types of people. Those that believe in what they're selling and the skills that they have, and then there are those that don't. Now, your first point of call with any new client is probably going to be some form of discovery call. Now, this call's very important for several reasons. Number one, it's going to give you an opportunity to learn more about this lead, in turn giving you the information that you need to then go and quote this company and hopefully potentially work with them. Number 2, it actually gives your lead an opportunity to see if your agency is a good fit for them. You know, do you know what you're talking about? Are you gonna be able to provide value to them? These are all questions they wanna know, and that discovery call helps them. Unfortunately, no one teaches you about the first steps needed before this call. So most of you end up going into every single call nervous, not really sure what you're offering, oblivious to the pain points of your clients and their needs, and ultimately unsure on whether this is gonna be the client that ends up paying you that money and signs on for that retainer. And unfortunately, if this sounds like you, then you've already failed before you've begun. Now, you need to go into every single call being confident in what you're offering and conscious of your client's needs. What do I mean by this? Well, limiting beliefs can really get in the way of these calls. It's pretty much the sole reason why some people will charge $200 to $500 for the same service that you're trying to sell for $2,000. So let's dig into that. Let me explain. Number 1, confidence. So for confidence, we need to look at, number 1, you're probably not confident that you actually have more sales calls after this first initial one. You live with a scarcity mindset and you lack the confidence in yourself, and that's leading to you to then make bad decisions when it comes to your pricing. You really do need to remember that if you're in an AI automation agency, which I know most of you are, this is a blue ocean opportunity, and your only real competitors are myself and the people in the comment section down below. And guys, you need to understand there is always going to be more leads coming through. So this means that you need to be confident that just because you're on this call, it doesn't mean it's going to be the last call you're ever going to have. You don't have to close this client. So there's no need for you to drop your prices drastically just to try to win the job. So number 2, you're probably not confident that you can actually help with these companies. And my answer to this one is very, very simple. There is always a solution. And it's really funny when you think about this one, because most people, when they assume that they can't do something or they panic and they don't actually have that confidence in themselves to go to these clients and be able to deliver something of high quality, they instantly bring the price down. And that is not what you want to be doing. We'll be touching on that very, very soon. The reality is the smart move is to make your service more expensive so that you can then actually afford to hire in an expert to do the work for you. Think about that for a second. If you can't deliver the work or you're not confident in doing it yourself, then why wouldn't you charge enough so that you can hire in an expert? It makes so much sense. The truth is you need money for that, and if you're charging pretty much fuck all for your services, then you're not gonna be able to hire in anyone, and it's gonna be all down to you, and that panic is gonna heighten and get even worse. So number 3, you're not confident that you understand what your client actually wants and needs. Understanding what your client needs is the way that you get paid the big bucks. Now, luckily, the solution of understanding what your client needs and wants is very, very simple. It all really just comes back to research and being an expert in that target niche that you're working with. Ask yourself, what are the KPIs of this industry? Do they need to focus on retention? Are they an appointment or a customer service heavy industry? This is where the power of niching down really does come into play. And once you answer the questions for one client, chances are client 2, 3, and 4 are all gonna have the same issues. And now you hold the keys to be able to help all of them. So productize and systemize your services once you're confident that it's working for someone else in that industry, and you can just copy and paste it to other people in the same niche. You should now be able to see why confidence is such an important factor when it comes to pricing. Everything that you believe in that sales call dictates what you end up charging that client. Now, as mentioned, the second key ingredient is going to be consciousness. Let me explain this one. So number one, you need to be conscious of your client's budget and their needs. If you're already confident in their needs and you understand the project, then the next step is being aware of the client's budget. Now, at Unorthodox, we ask every single client what their budget for their project is. And this isn't so that we can then hike up the price and make more money. Instead, asking this question actually allows us to provide more options for our clients. And it also saves us time putting together a proposal that is way out of the budget of the client that we're talking to. So don't be scared to ask what their budget is. At the end of the day, it's in the best interest of our clients to actually tell us what their budgets are so that we can build something around them. You know, perhaps we're building them chatbots. Instead of a custom build, it's now a build using a third-party platform to keep costs down underneath the budget that they have. Now, don't get me wrong, some clients aren't gonna want to tell you their budget because they're probably scared that you're gonna try to rip them off. But if you actually explain to them the reason why you're getting the budget, and the reason being is you want to offer them more options and you wanna work within their budget and you wanna save them time and you time, then they're actually gonna understand it. And it becomes a very sensible question to ask. Number two is you need to be conscious that you're not shooting yourself in the foot. I see this one time and time again. Agency owners promising the world and under delivering. If you know that something is gonna take you a week to build for your client, don't say you're gonna deliver it in a week. This is a surefire way to fuck up. You need to give yourself time. You need to allow time for problems that may come up. You need to allow time for testing, research. Maybe you have to have back and forth questions with your client and you need to rely on them coming back to you quickly. The end goal is always to over-deliver what you're promising. At Unorthodox, we usually deliver within 30 working days of the first payment that's been made. Now, most of the time we can deliver quicker than that, depends on the complexity of the job. But it leaves our clients extremely happy with our service when we do meet that deadline or we do deliver it early. This time frame also gives us enough breathing space to go back and forth with our dev team to make sure that the product that we deliver up front is a higher quality product. We've had time to give feedback, make changes, add new features, and it exceeds all expectations of our clients. So be realistic here. No one expects an automation or a chatbot to be perfectly working right out of the gate. It would be ignorant to think that you can get it right the first time and just magically guess exactly what the client needs within a week. So give yourself time to make the changes, add features, and take feedback. At the end of the day, you have full control over their expectations, and you have to be conscious of what makes sense and what doesn't. So number three is you need to be conscious of your costs and your time. Now, here is a formula I would say that 95% of entrepreneurs do not understand. Your time equals money. Yes, I know, crazy, right? But most people don't actually value their time. When you end up charging $250 for a chatbot and you work 2 10-hour days to complete it, these guys think it's super profitable because they've made it online and they just made money appear, you know? But the reality is that you would have actually made more money going to work at a McDonald's drive-thru on the weekend with back-to-back shifts. What your time is worth is what dictates pretty much everything with your pricing. Every hour that you spend speaking to clients, every hour that you spend working on the project, managing teams, it all adds up and it is all billable. Now, some of you may be thinking,
but Liam, how do I know how much I'm worth every single hour?
Well, the question is, what do you think you're worth? Now, I actually want you to pause this video now and ask yourself that question. You done it? Okay, cool. So now times that number by 10 and I'll explain why. Most of you probably landed on $20 to $30 per hour. Now there is a thing called perceived value and it is very, very real. If someone came to me and they quoted me $500 to build a chatbot and another company then came to me and quoted $4.5K for the same chatbot, you may think that I would disregard the $4.5K and go for the cheap option. But the reality is that isn't the case. My perceived value of that $4.5K chatbot is so much higher than that $500 chatbot. With the $500 chatbot, it's likely that it's a one-man team running the company. They're probably going to cut corners to make the job profitable. They're probably going to have limited availability or aftercare help just because their budget of delivering is so low. They probably don't value their time much, and they're probably not an expert if they're charging that price. Now, this goes back to my point about charging enough to be able to hire in those team of professionals. This is why it's important. Business owners are not stupid. It's clear as day. They can see right through it just in your pricing alone. So I actually used to build and sell luxury aquariums here in London. Now, our competitors used to charge, for reference, 6,000 to 8,000 UK pounds for every single fish tank that they would install and build. Now, our range was actually 40,000 to 60,000 pounds. And the best thing about it was we didn't use any fancy materials. We were pretty much the same as our competitors. We used the same suppliers. We definitely weren't as experienced as our competitors, but we charged so much more. Why was that? Well, we actually sold our client into a lifestyle. We looked the part. Our website was top notch. We had branding. Our social media was on fire. We had beautifully designed videos. So these guys were buying into a lifestyle. They were buying into something much deeper than just a luxury aquarium. We sold that luxury experience, and that is why we could charge what we did. You know, our clients were very, very happy with the fish tanks that we were delivering. And the best part about it was we then had enough funds to hire in industry leading experts and builders to complete the projects for us, all whilst making a really good profit every single time. Now, overall, it should be very clear now what you need to focus on before you start pricing your clients' projects. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not easy and you're not gonna get it right the first time. It took me years and years to really understand this. But luckily, you now have all of my content for free to help you speed up the process. So to recap, you need to gain confidence in knowing there are plenty more clients out there. You need to gain confidence in what you're selling and what you're offering. You need to gain confidence in knowing how you can actually help these businesses and where your value is. You need to be conscious of your clients' requirements and their budget. You need to be conscious you're not shooting yourself in the foot, so making sure that you set your expectations right. And you need to be conscious that you're actually valuing your time. If you do all of this, you're gonna unlock the secret power of knowing what to charge your clients. And make sure you remember, clients' pain times the value that you bring equals your price. At the end of the day, we're chief automation officers, experts in our field. We're the answer to our clients' problems, and we build relationships that last. We're not one-man bands scared to charge more, jumping from client to client. So my question to you is, what do you think that your time's worth? And what are your key takeaways from watching this video? Let me know down below. I'll be picking one winner for a free month inside our AIAA paid Discord. That's all from me today. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.